This is a Pubcast Shot. I'm John Loomer. How should you approach incremental attribution? Let's go. So, Meta first announced incremental attribution last fall, and they rolled it out this past spring. If you're struggling to keep up, I get it. Meta's added several layers to attribution during the past few years, so it's getting a whole lot more complicated. Now, this is ultimately a good thing, but it can also lead to buried information and a misunderstanding of results. So if you're not sure what incremental attribution is or what you should do with it, this episode is for you. Now, first, let's break this down to the basics. Attribution is how Meta gives credit to an ad for a conversion. So when you're optimizing for conversions, the results column will be for purchases or leads or something else. These are reported because Meta was able to connect a view or click on your ad to an eventual conversion. And of course, Meta has those conversions because you send them those signals using the pixel or API or both. Now, by default, Meta optimizes and reports on conversions using a 7-day click and 1-day view window. That means that Meta will count a conversion if someone clicks your ad and converts within 7 days or views your ad without clicking and converts within a day. The conversion goes to the most recent click, if there is one. Advertisers now know this model to be standard attribution. Now, I don't think there was a name for this before, because there wasn't a need for one. But now there's incremental attribution. So advertisers have the option of standard or incremental attribution when selecting a conversion-based performance goal. While standard attribution utilizes customizable click and view attribution windows, incremental attribution does not. Meta defines it like this. Incremental attribution uses machine learning models that predict whether a conversion is caused by an ad. So, with incremental attribution, you can focus on outcomes that are more likely to be directly driven by your ad. And as a result, you can drive more incremental conversions with your campaigns. Now, I get it. This sounds confusing because, quote, outcomes that are more likely to be directly driven by an ad, unquote, sounds like what any attributed conversions should be. Now, it doesn't mean that Meta is making up conversions with standard attribution. People still need to view or click your ad before converting. But the point is that some of those people would have converted without seeing your ad. And that's where the machine learning models come into play to sort that out. The most obvious example is remarketing, where you're hitting this person from multiple sources. They also may not have seen your ad in the case of a view-through conversion, and that wouldn't be incremental. So the thought here is that incremental attribution will more accurately reflect the conversions that were directly driven by your ad. And if you can optimize for them, they'll be higher quality and better long-term investments. Now, the first thing you can do is optimize for incremental attribution instead of standard attribution in the ad set. But expect that you will get fewer reported conversions when this happens. Based on my own early experiments, I've not had great results with this. Not only are my costs worse, which can be expected, but the quality of these conversions doesn't seem to be any better than before. And I've generally heard of dissatisfaction from others on this as well, but I obviously can't speak for everyone on this. Now, the other approach you can do is use incremental attribution for reporting context only. So continue to use standard attribution for ad set optimization, but use incremental attribution as a check of results. So use the compare attribution settings feature within the columns drop-down menu to find this. Then check the boxes for both standard and incremental attribution. This will add separate columns for each attribution model. Now, I've generally found that Meta considers most of my conversions reported with standard attribution as incremental. Now, that's obviously a good thing, but it would be a bit of a red flag if this breakdown revealed that most of your conversions were not, in fact, incremental. That may mean a high percentage are view-through, Though I guess not necessarily, and you can find that out too. So here's the bottom of the glass. Incremental attribution is an interesting addition to the attribution toolbox, but don't get overwhelmed with it. Feel free to test it using it as an optimization in the ad set, but you don't need to. At the very minimum, I encourage you to use the Compare Attribution Settings feature to uncover just how many of your results Meta considers incremental. That could either be validating or a warning sign. All right, so before we go, a helpful tip to stay ahead of the competition. The biggest challenge with meta advertising is the constant change. I know you know how this is. New features, evolving best practices, or complete redesign of campaign creation. We see it constantly, and it's not easy to keep up. That's why I created The Loop. The Loop is a free weekly subscription to keep you updated on everything that is changing. It pulls from all of my latest blog posts, videos, and even podcast episodes. Smart advertisers stay in the loop so that they don't get left behind. Join them by subscribing at johnloomer.com/loop. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time, do awesome things.
I'm out.